Raining fish and frogs? Are they the only, unique phenomenon? Let's explore it together. Are Fortean anomalies from the realm of the unexplained? In an age increasingly defined by scientific certainty and rigorous categorization, there exists a curious realm where data defies dogma, where observations refuse to conform, and where the neatly organized boxes of human knowledge seem to unravel. This is the domain of Fortean anomalies, phenomena that challenge conventional explanations and sit uncomfortably on the fringes of accepted reality. Named after the eccentric and pioneering American writer and researcher Charles Fort, Forteanism is less a pseudoscience and more a skeptical methodology, a deliberate act of collecting and cataloging all data that science ignores, dismisses, or cannot explain. Fort famously declared, "I am a collector of notes upon subjects that science has ignored." His work laid the groundwork for a unique approach to the unexplained, celebrating the weird, the wondrous, and the downright inexplicable. Charles Hoy Fort was a meticulous chronicler of the inexplicable. From the late 19th century into the early 20th, he spent his days poring over scientific journals, newspapers, and obscure publications, systematically extracting accounts of phenomena that simply didn't fit the prevailing scientific paradigms. He argued that science, much like religion, creates its own orthodoxies and dismisses any data that contradicts its established theories as damned, unfit for consideration. He was not necessarily trying to prove the existence of extraterrestrials or supernatural forces, but rather to highlight the limitations of human understanding and the arrogance of certainty. He proposed various whimsical, often tongue-in-cheek explanations for the phenomena he collected, such as the idea that things fall from somewhere rather than just out of the sky, the Super Sargasso Sea, where lost objects accumulate, or that Earth is merely a farm owned by an external entity. These theories, while playful, served to underscore his central point. Our understanding of reality is incomplete, and there's far more to heaven and earth than is dreamt of in our philosophies. Forteanism, then, is an approach characterized by collection of anomalies, a relentless pursuit of data that doesn't fit, skepticism of established narratives, questioning conventional explanations and authorities, open-mindedness, a willingness to consider possibilities outside the norm, recognition of patterns, searching for recurring themes in seemingly disparate events, a playful, sometimes cynical, attitude, acknowledging the absurdities and contradictions in our attempts to understand the universe. It's important to distinguish Forteanism from pseudoscience. Fort was not building new theories based on flimsy evidence. He was exposing the fragility of existing theories by presenting compelling counter-evidence. He reveled in ambiguity and contradiction, finding beauty in the unexplained. The sheer diversity of phenomena collected by Fort and subsequent Fortean researchers is astounding. They span various disciplines, blurring the lines between meteorology, biology, astronomy, and psychology. Let's check together some of the most classic Fortean events. Falls from the sky, pluvialis mirabilis. This is perhaps the most iconic Fortean category. Accounts of strange things falling from seemingly clear skies fascinated Fort. Rains of fish and frogs. Numerous historical and contemporary reports describe live or dead fish, frogs, or other small aquatic animals falling during or after rainstorms. Explanations typically involve waterspouts or strong updrafts lifting creatures from bodies of water, but Fort delighted in the sheer improbability and localized nature of many such events. Rains of blood, flesh, and other substances. Reports of red rain, often attributed to dust, pollen, or microorganisms, but also more visceral falls of seemingly organic matter, have been recorded for centuries. These often defy simple meteorological explanations. Falls of miscellaneous objects. From lumps of ice far larger than hailstones, megacriometeors, to coins, stones, ash, or even seemingly manufactured items appearing from nowhere, the sky can apparently yield unexpected surprises. Unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, UFOs. Long before the modern era of flying saucers, Fort compiled accounts of unexplained lights, objects, and aerial phenomena that couldn't be readily identified as known aircraft or celestial bodies. While UFOs became a distinct field of study, Forteanism encompasses a broader range of unexplained aerial observations, often focusing on their elusive nature and the cultural narratives surrounding them. Strange disappearances and appearances. Vanishing people. Reports of individuals disappearing without a trace in inexplicable circumstances, often in remote or seemingly ordinary locations. These go beyond typical missing person cases, hinting at a rupture in reality or an unknown force at play. Sudden appearances, xenogenesis, spontaneous generation, the inexplicable appearance of objects, animals, or even structures seemingly out of nowhere, defying known laws of physics or biology. This includes classic tales of wild men or strange creatures appearing in isolated areas. Cryptids and strange creatures. While cryptozoology focuses on proving the existence of unknown animals, Forteanism is interested in the reports of such creatures, especially those that defy conventional zoological classification or appear in impossible contexts. Lake monsters and sea serpents. Reports of Nessie-like creatures or vast, serpentine beings in oceans and lakes worldwide. Bigfoot, Sasquatch and Yeti. Large, ape-like hominids reported in remote wilderness areas. Mothman and Thunderbird-like creatures. Large, winged, often humanoid entities associated with ominous events or unusual aerial displays. Out-of-place animals, OOPAs. Animals found far from their natural habitat without a clear explanation, e.g., big cats in the English countryside, kangaroos in unusual locations. Anomalous lights and sounds. Ghost lights, earth lights. Unexplained luminous phenomena, often associated with geological stress or specific geographical locations, that move erratically or appear to be intelligent. Mysterious sounds. Unexplained booms, hums, like the Taos hum, or strange musical sounds emanating from unknown sources, often baffling scientists and frustrating local residents. Perhaps one of the most gruesome and perplexing anomalies, spontaneous human combustion, SHC, involves the burning of a living human body without an apparent external source of ignition. Fort meticulously documented such cases, noting the often localized and intense nature of the burns, leaving surrounding areas untouched. While often associated with parapsychology, Forteanism collects accounts of disruptive psychic phenomena, including poltergeist activity, mysterious noises, moving objects, unexplained fires, and other physical disturbances attributed to unseen forces, often centered around an individual, the focus. Ghost sightings and apparitions. Visual encounters with figures or forms that defy physical explanation. More speculative, but within the Fortean purview, are accounts that suggest momentary distortions in time or glimpses into alternate realities. These include stories of people briefly stepping into a past era or finding themselves in a subtly altered version of their own environment. Unlike traditional scientific inquiry, which aims to prove or disprove hypotheses, the Fortean method is more akin to data collection for data's sake, challenging assumptions rather than building new universal laws. Rejection of dogma. Forteanism starts with the premise that official explanations are often incomplete or biased. It casts a critical eye on consensus. Focus on the leftovers. Instead of focusing on what's easily explainable, it meticulously records the exceptions, the outliers, and the unclassifiable events that get swept under the rug. Cross-referencing and pattern recognition. Fort meticulously cross-referenced reports from disparate sources, looking for recurring themes, similar characteristics, and patterns across geographical locations or time periods. Humor and absurdity. Ford often used humor and satire to highlight the absurdity of scientific attempts to force complex phenomena into simplistic frameworks. This approach encourages intellectual humility. Agnosticism. A true Fortean doesn't necessarily believe in any specific paranormal explanation. Instead, they embrace the mystery and acknowledge the limits of current knowledge. They are interested in the fact of the anomaly, not necessarily its ultimate cause, if that cause remains elusive. Charles Fort's work was revolutionary in its time and continues to exert a profound influence on fringe research, popular culture, and even mainstream thought. Fort is widely considered the father of modern cryptozoology, ufology, and much of parapsychological research. His willingness to consider unconventional data opened doors for others to explore these fields, even if their methods sometimes diverged from his own. Founded in 1931 by the Fortean Society, continued Fort's work, collecting and disseminating anomalous reports. While it eventually dissolved, its spirit lives on in various contemporary organizations. Fortean Times magazine is a widely respected magazine dedicated to reporting and analyzing strange phenomena from around the world. It embodies Fort's original spirit of open-minded skepticism and meticulous documentation. Challenging orthodoxy. Forteanism serves as a constant reminder to scientists and thinkers not to become complacent in their understanding. It encourages a healthy skepticism and a willingness to revise paradigms in light of new, even uncomfortable, evidence. By highlighting the bizarre and the unknown, Forteanism enriches our sense of wonder and reminds us that the universe is far stranger and more mysterious than we often assume. It encourages curiosity and discourages intellectual arrogance. The themes and types of phenomena explored by Fort have permeated literature, film, television, and video games. From The X-Files to countless science fiction and horror narratives, the idea of unexplained events challenging reality owes a debt to Fort's pioneering work. Despite its unique contributions, Forteanism isn't without its critiques. Forteanism excels at pointing out what is strange, but rarely provides definitive why. Its strength is in highlighting gaps in knowledge, not necessarily filling them with new, testable theories. However, these critiques often miss the point of Forteanism. It's not a scientific methodology in the traditional sense, but rather a meta-science, an inquiry into the nature of knowledge itself and its boundaries. It's about maintaining a healthy critical distance from all claims of absolute truth. In a world drowning in information, the Fortean perspective remains remarkably relevant. It urges us to look beyond the headlines and accepted explanations, to question assumptions, and to remain open to the possibility that our understanding of the universe, no matter how advanced, is always incomplete. The very act of collecting and considering phenomena that defy easy categorization forces us to confront the inherent weirdness of reality. Fortean anomalies are not just strange curiosities, they are signposts pointing to the edges of our current knowledge, inviting us to peer into the vast unknowns that still surround us. Whether they are precursors to new scientific discoveries, psychological manifestations, or simply the universe's way of reminding us of its profound mystery, Fort's damned data continues to challenge, inspire, and endlessly fascinate those willing to look beyond the ordinary and embrace the truly extraordinary. Have you ever experienced any of mentioned here Fortean anomalies? How did you feel about it? We hope this video stimulated you to ponder on various events happening around us. Then, like it, share it, and remember to subscribe to our channel.